Are we back? Can we start now?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So, Drone Rules 2021 is the document which was published on 25th of August 2021. Remember this date. This date is also there in your summary sheet as well as in your drone. I'm getting a call from office. Now, just a minute. Okay, so Drone Rules 2021, which was released on 25th of August 2021. Okay, so this is actually a 43-page document available on DGCA platform as well as available on other platforms also. But the safe and the right source is DGCA Digital Sky platform, which we call is available. This document. I will also be sharing you the soft copy on your email by end of this session, today's session. Okay. So first thing what talks about the drone rules 2021 is about the classification and categorization of drones. Okay, so there are different ways to classify and categorize the drone. India is following a certain classification and categorization. FAA or European countries or any other third party country are using different way of classifying and categorizing a drone. India is the only country which classifies and categorizes the drone based on the weight. Okay, remember this, based on weight. Okay, so first let's see what is the categorization. How does it categorize the drones? So there are three categories of drones with respect to our drone rules 2021. First, UAS. UAS stands for unmanned aircraft system, and when you see UAV, that is unmanned aircraft vehicle. Okay, so remember, vehicle means we are only talking about drone. But when we are talking about system, system means unmanned aircraft system, means the drone, the remote pilot, the remote control, the ground control station. So anything related to that entire system. Okay, so it is called system. So you should know what is UAV and UAS. S means system in totality. Even you as a part of a remote pilot, as a pilot, you are part of that system. Okay, so that is all remote pilot system or remote pilot aircraft system or unmanned aircraft system. So whenever the word system means in totality we are talking, and when we say vehicle only means we are only talking specific to that particular device. Okay, it could be a drone, it could be aeroplane, or it could be hybrid device also. So there are three categories of unmanned aircraft system. First category is called rotorcraft. Second category is called aeroplane. Third category is called hybrid. So there are total three categories of unmanned aircraft system. So rotorcraft means where you have propellers. Okay, propellers. Like rotorcraft means like our drones. The normally drones what we see, 4 propellers, 6 propellers, 8 propellers, even 1 propeller, 2 propellers, which are unmanned. Okay, like helicopter also has a propeller, but that doesn't come under unmanned because there is a pilot who is sitting inside the helicopter who is flying. So that comes under the manned aircraft. Okay, so there is a person who is controlling sitting inside. So aeroplane also comes as manned aircraft. Okay, so your commercial aeroplanes like Airbus, your Boeing aeroplanes, or any other airlines which is using aeroplanes which is being flown by pilot sitting inside the aeroplane. Okay, those aeroplanes are aeroplanes. Okay, the aeroplane what we are talking as unmanned aircraft system, these are like your normal aeroplanes, small in size, but which are flown remotely, like whether you are using aeroplane for flying your aero modeling. Okay, or even your helicopter, the small Darsh, I think Darsh asked me about that question. The helicopter which is piloted by a remote. So these are all comes under the rotorcraft or aeroplane based on their requirement, but they are flown remotely. So nobody is sitting inside those devices. Those are smaller in size. But in future there could be a aeroplane, there could be a rotorcraft which can be, people will be there, but there won't be a pilot inside to flow that. Okay. So then those will become as, still they will be called as unmanned, but they are being piloted remotely. Okay, like we are talking about drone taxi. Okay, there will be people flying from one location to another location in a drone. Okay, it could be a rotorcraft drone or it could be aeroplane type of drone also, unmanned. But those people will be only like a passengers, or they are like payloads. Okay, they are not contributing on anything on flying that device or flying that vehicle or flying that aircraft. It is unmanned, unmanned from a perspective of operational perspective. Okay, so people, even though you are carrying people from one location to another location, they are only like a payload. Okay, so you have three categories: rotorcraft, aeroplane, and hybrid. Now hybrid is nothing but combination of your rotorcraft and aeroplane. So the best part of rotorcraft, best part of aeroplane is taken, and you have built a hybrid device, okay, or hybrid aircraft, which can take, the best part of rotorcraft is that it can fly vertically. Okay, it can take off vertically and it can land vertically, whereas aeroplane can glide. Okay, so aeroplane glide. For example, I'll give what is the best part of it. It's a rotorcraft. It can take off horizontally and land horizontally. Sorry, vertically. But in case of failure of one particular motor, what will happen? The drone will fall down. Okay, it cannot sustain. Okay, so it will fall down. But aeroplane, in case of failure of one engine, even failure of two engines also, still your aeroplane will not crash, because aeroplanes are been designed aerodynamically, so it will glide, it will glide to certain extent, and you can safely land that aeroplane. So these are the best part of aeroplane, best part of rotorcraft. Okay, so rotorcraft advantage is that it can take vertically, take off, it can vertically land. Also it can hover at particular location, it can hover, it means it can lock its position at particular location. So hovering capability is there. Okay, so these are the best part of rotorcraft, best part of aeroplane is been taken and built a hybrid. So hybrid is similar to your aeroplane, but it has a facility where it doesn't require a runway, it can take off vertically and land vertically. So we'll see that in hybrid topic. Okay, so these are the three categories of unmanned aircraft system. So these are flown, remotely piloted, or can be remotely piloted, or can be a part of autonomous also. We'll see that as a subcategory in later stage, but primarily three categories is rotorcraft, aeroplane, and hybrid. So that is how you categorize your unmanned aircraft system. Now let's see how do we classify. So now classification of your unmanned aircraft systems in with respect to drone rules 2021 is done with respect to the weight. Okay, what we called as MTOW, maximum takeoff weight. So maximum takeoff weight is a defined weight of that particular unmanned aircraft system in which we classified our drones or unmanned aircraft system. So with respect to the weight, we have 5 classifications. First is nano, then we have micro, then we have small, then we have medium, and then we have large. So subsequently, with the least weight, we goes on gradually increasing. So nano is up to 250 grams. Okay, so small toy drones, okay, DJI Neo, DJI Flip, these small drones what we see, or toy drones what we see, they normally fall under the nano class. Okay, we never say nano category, micro category, small category. Remember, you are going to become a drone pilot, certified licensed drone pilot. So never do this mistake. Sometimes it's become slip of tongue, like we say nano category or micro. Even मेरे से भी बोलते बोलते कभी कभी ऐसे मुंह से निकल जाता है, but that is just a slip of tongue. We should correct ourselves. It should be always nano class, micro class, small class, medium class, or large class. Okay, so we are classifying the drones with respect to the weight. Okay, so nano class is less than 250 grams. Micro is more than 250 gram but less than 2 kg. Small is more than 2 kg, less than 25 kg. Medium is more than 25 kg, less than 150 kg. And large is more than 150 kg. That is how you classify your unmanned aircraft system with respect to drone rules 2021. So we have 5 classes: nano, micro, small, medium and large. Any questions on category and class of drones, or we are clear on it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Arkodeep, you have a question?
Yes, sir. Do you need a license for micro class as well?
Yes, if you are flying it for commercial.
Okay, and for like personal purposes?
If you are flying it for non-commercial for personal reason, you don't require license.
Okay.
Okay, so basically micro class belongs to segment of more than 250 to 2 kg. Okay, so that's a very small segment, very small drones would be there. So more or less people fly for recreational activity, hobby or something like that. So that's why there is a segment where you are flying it for personal or whether you are for flying commercial. If you are flying for commercial, then you have to acquire a license. Okay, you need authorization, you need certification for that. Okay, but you do not have too much of drones in this segment or this class. Okay, maximum class of drones are available in small class. Okay, that is 2 kg to 25 kg. This is a very big range. So almost 95% of drones, 90 to 95 percentage of drones globally fall under this class. Okay, though I am saying that this classification is related to India, but even if you see the drones which are outside India, people are using, maximum class will be always in a small class. Okay, so 2 kg to 25 kg is a quite a big range. Okay, from small to small drone for commercial purposes to big drones like agriculture drones, supply drones, or any other drone, parcel delivery, disaster management, or any payload you are attaching to the drone, they will always fall in this small class, which is 2 kg to 25 kg. It's a quite big range. Okay, and then next class is medium. So medium is just extension of the weight. Okay, for example, small class का drone है जो 25 kg है, which is using a battery of X कैपेसिटी. आप बैटरी चेंज करते हो, हायर कैपेसिटी की बैटरी लगाते हो, तो उसका वेट बढ़ जाता है. फ्रॉम 25 kg it becomes, let's say, 27 kg. There is no change in the drone itself, only because of the battery weight. or maybe tank, एग्रीकल्चर ड्रोन है जिसका टैंक 10 लीटर का है, उसमें आप 15 लीटर या 16 लीटर का टैंक लगाते हो, तो ऑटोमेटिक वेट फ्रॉम 25 kg इट गोज टू 28 kg और 29 kg. सो वेट कैटेगरी जो है या वेट क्लासिफिकेशन है वो आपका चेंज हो रहा है फ्रॉम स्मॉल टू मीडियम. बट एज सच ड्रोन देयर इज नो फंक्शनैलिटी चेंज, बट बिकॉज द वेट चेंज हो रहा है, दोज ड्रोन्स आर कॉल्ड एज मीडियम क्लास ड्रोन्स. बट बाकी फंक्शनैलिटी में या कुछ चेंज नहीं हो रहा है, राइट? So there is no much difference from small and medium in initial level. Currently, though, the range of medium class is from 25 kg to 150 kg. Okay, वो भी काफी बड़ा range है, from 25 kg to 150 kg. But government has given only limit up to 50 kg. Okay, only authorization up to 50 kg. 50 kg के ऊपर कोई ड्रोन को उन्होंने सर्टिफाई किया नहीं है. They have not certified drone above 50 kg as of now. So even the drones, we have drones in medium class which are being type certified, but they are still within 50 kg limit. So as I gave you the example, only small minor change in the weight is changing. From up, it is going above 25 kg. That's why they are being certified under medium class. But there is no major change in the drone segment into. हाँ, when you start building maybe a parcel delivery, जैसे बड़ा parcel है, 100 kg का drone बना रहे हो, या जैसे there are drones which are getting developed for firefighters. Okay, so where the drone weight is itself of 100 kg, there you are seeing the difference. Maybe those could be octocopters. Okay, like normally in medium we'll see, medium and small we'll see the agriculture drones, maybe quadcopter or maybe hexacopter. but जब drone का weight बढ़ जाता है तो उसका power to weight ratio जो है increase करने के लिए you may have to increase number of propellers. So from 4 or 6 you may have to go to 8 propellers. Okay, or maybe 10 propellers or 12 propellers also in that case. So in that scenario the number of propellers will increase because the weight is increased. You need to give that power to raise the drone in the air. Okay, so that is where your design will change. So maximum, as I said, small is more than enough. Even you get the certification, you get the license, you should try to focus flying the drone in small class, because that's a quite huge range. Huge opportunities are there in small class. Medium में अभी इतना नहीं हुआ है. Medium अभी क्या हुआ है? Only agriculture drones have been introduced in medium class. There are some drones which are introduced for supply or delivery kind of thing, but they are still not become a mainstream. So you will not see opportunities in medium. Currently in India, maximum opportunities lies in small class drones. Okay, there are some opportunities which are very few, or I would say comparatively compared to small, they are very less. Maybe 5 to 10% opportunities are there, but maximum opportunities are always in small class. Even in outside the country, if you go, people will be flying. See, they may be classifying or categorizing in a different way, but weight and the type would be remain same. We'll see in subsequent slides how the FAA or ESA, they see the drones with respect to the flying condition, like whether categorizing, how they categorize their drone or classify their drone according to their requirements. Okay, whereas from India perspective, we are categorizing with respect to the type, that is rotorcraft or aeroplane or hybrid. With respect to the weight, it is nano, micro, small, medium and large. Okay, are we clear on the category and classification, or we still have any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, Arpadi.
This classification, like small, medium, large, it depends on the weight of the drone itself, or including the payload as well?
Including the payload. That's what I said. Maximum takeoff weight. When I say maximum takeoff weight, means including the payload. So right now we are going to fly agribot drone, agriculture drone, which is a DGCA type certified drone, which is weighing 24.9. So which is less than 25 kg. So it is in small class. So when I say 24.9 means the drone weight as well as the payload. Payload means the tank and the motor pump. Okay, this is the additional payload on which the drone is being put. This payload and the drone weight is 24.9. So anytime whenever you are saying the drone weight, it could be without payload or with payload. So we have to specify whether it is with the payload or without payload. So if I'm saying my drone normal without the payload weight is, let's say, 2 kg or 2.5 kg or maybe 5 kg. So that may be just the weight of the drone. But if I put 1 kg of camera to that, so my maximum takeoff weight or maximum weight of that drone will be 6 kg. Or maybe 2 kg का आपने lidar लगाया, so it will be 7 kg. So that's how it is. Okay, but that drone will have a limit up to 25 kg. So till whether you use 1 kg payload, 2 kg payload or 5 kg payload, till the time you are not crossing your 25 kg, your drone will be in small class. Clear? So type certified drones, when you talk about the weight or even the classification what we are talking, this is with the payload. Okay, so whatever the drone weight you are talking, maximum takeoff weight what we define is drone weight plus payload weight. Okay, so whenever you see the technical specification, wherever it is written MTOW, it is the payload of it is a drone weight plus payload weight. Okay, if it is specified drone weight and the payload weight separately, then you have to plus and then see what is the weight coming, total weight, and accordingly your classification of the drone will fall. Right? Any other question?
No, sir.
Okay. So let's move ahead. So if you see this slide, I have just put it textual. Okay, I have not purposely used the picture because I want you to focus only on the words first, because these words are very important. See, pictorial will help you to understand more in depth or more in understanding. But initially you need to understand, because a lot of people get confused whenever people ask, what is a category of drones. So people do not remember the category. People do not understand the classification or the concept of classification. That's why I have just put the words over here. So I want you to remember this slide very well. So category is rotorcraft, aeroplane and hybrid. Hybrid is also called as VTOL. Okay, vertical takeoff and landing. Okay, sometimes people call hybrid as VTOL drones. Okay, so rotorcraft is there. Even your rotorcraft is also VTOL, because that is also capable of vertical takeoff and landing. Okay, whereas aeroplane cannot take off vertically, or it requires runway or it requires some kind of a mechanism to fly in the air. Okay, so rotorcraft, aeroplane and hybrid are the three categories, and your 5 classification based on MTOW, that is maximum takeoff weight, nano, micro, small and medium and large. Okay. So let's see now more in detail about this category and classification. So first, if you see, category also has a subcategory. So you have a category like rotorcraft, aeroplane and hybrid. So all of these threes can be subcategorized as remotely piloted aircraft system. They can be subcategorized as model RPAS. They can be subcategorized as autonomous UAS also. So let's take each example like rotorcraft. The drone, the quadcopter drone can be flown by a remote pilot. Like you are going to become a pilot of a rotorcraft as RPAS. Okay, so that's what you see the first slide when I started the introduction. There was something written as small. So now you understand small means you are going to get certified for small class drone, which is a range of 2 kg to 25 kg. You are going to get certified for categorization of rotorcraft. So you are going to fly a rotorcraft drones. You are getting authorized for flying rotorcraft drones. Then you will be categorized or authorized for flying it manually. That means you are going to fly the drone. So remotely piloted aircraft system. Okay. So you are going to fly manually. You are having a remote controller in your hand and you are flying the drone. And the last option, if you see in that slide, was VLOS. That is visual line of sight. That means every time when you fly the drone, you have to see it physically, visually. Okay, you cannot fly if the drone is not visible to you. Okay, it will become very difficult to fly the drone. So you have to make sure that you are flying under VLOS conditions. So you are getting certified for small class, rotorcraft, remotely piloted aircraft system and VLOS. Okay, this is what is going to come on your certificate. Okay, you can subsequently upgrade yourself from small to medium to micro or large, but as of now only small and medium class certification is available. Okay, micro is only available with 1 or 2 institutes only across country. Okay, we have applied for micro as well as for medium. We still yet to get the clearance and authorization from DGCA. Okay, so we may become one of the institute where we have medium as well as micro class of authorization or imparting the training and all the things. Similarly, as of now, there are only couple of 1 or 2, I think 3 max, who are available to train the people on hybrid. Okay, still there is no certification available on aeroplane. Okay, so there is no pilot who gets on train on aeroplane because you do not fly. If you want to fly an aeroplane kind of a drone, you need to have a runway and all the things. So that facility or that ecosystem is not available. Okay, so we are not getting trained or certified on aeroplane. We are not getting trained on hybrid because even hybrid, though it is vertical takeoff, only certain organizations, 1 or 2 or max 3, are being authorized to give that kind of training or impart that kind of training. Okay, so maximum it is rotorcraft and RPAS. There is no autonomous UAS certification is also available as of now because that will come in near future. Okay, whereas model RPAS belongs to those certification where aero modeling people flies. Okay, so only certain aero modelers or people who are doing, but again aero modelers can be classified as remotely piloted aircraft system also. Okay, so model RPAS is only for aero modeling kind of thing or models, okay, which are not type certified, or you are flying only for testing or development or recursional purposes with weight limit of only 25 kg or below 25 kg, and you are only flying under visual line of sight. That can be only as subcategorized as model RPAS. Okay, so that is the definition of subcategory model RPAS. Whereas autonomous UAS means where you are actually creating a mission plan. You are flying it automatically. You are not actually flying the drone. Only you are executing the flight plan and drone flies on its own. Okay, performs all the activities on its own. That is autonomous flying. Like for example, when I am flying a drone for agricultural requirement, like spraying a pesticide, okay, or fertilizer in my farm. So normally in that scenario, I will never fly a drone manually because that will cost lot of power. That will cost my battery, or that will cost my endurance capacity of my drone. So I will not be able to efficiently use my drone for fertilizer spraying or agriculture activity. In that scenario, it is always advisable to fly the drone in autonomous mode. So you have to create a mission plan. Okay, so how you have to define your field. If you have obstacles, you might have a tree, power line tower, or a well, or maybe a small house in your farm and all that thing. So according to your farm layout, you have to define the plan, and then you have to feed that plan to your remote control or a ground control station, which will upload that plan to the drone, and then drone will act or fly according to that plan. That is called as autonomous UAS. That's why it is written UAS, okay, unmanned aircraft system, because it is not only a device or not only the drone which is flying, or there is not remote pilot who is flying it. It's a complete system. So you will have a remote control, or you will have a GCS, that is ground control station would be there, where you have created the plan, and that plan is being uploaded into the drone and executed or controlled or monitored from that ground control station. Okay, that's why it is called autonomous UAS. So these certifications are still not been authorized by DGCA as of now for the training centers. Okay, so these are not there. So only rotorcraft and hybrid are currently available as remotely piloted aircraft system. So only these are available. They will subsequently open up for hybrid as well as autonomous as well as for aeroplane, depending on the requirement. There are certain regulations or certain framework is still required. There are certain criteria or requirements are still not fulfilled to start this kind of training or such kind of what we call experience for people to fly all those things. Okay, so only rotorcraft and hybrid is available under remotely piloted aircraft system. So any questions on the subcategory or category of UAS in India? So this is again with respect to only India. Okay, that you just remember. Any questions over here? Yes, Darsh.
And still the hybrid kind of aircraft where they just throw it from the hand rather than doing it.
That is not hybrid. That is not when you say hybrid, it is you don't require to throw because it will vertically take off and land.
Okay.
Where you are talking about throwing by hand, that is aeroplane.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll see that. We'll see an example when we talk in detail about aeroplane, when we talk about hybrid. So see, over the period of today's end of the day, na, all your queries, all your whatever that ambiguity is there in your understanding of it will get cleared. You will become a much better person with respect to the drone industry, that you have a substantial knowledge about it. So in today's session, we will cover everything about it. Okay. So whatever this understanding is required will get completely clear. You will be very well understanding everything, right from rules, regulations, categorization, subcategory, classification, everything will get clear. Okay. So just stay I would say not awake or something, but stay so that you learn every important point. See, these are very small points, but very important from overall understanding. Okay. So clear on categorization. Let's move to classification now. Okay. So earlier, as I said in the slide, we didn't have images over here because I want to focus you on the words, whereas now I am showing you the picture. So now if you see nano is less than 250 grams. Micro is 250 to 2 kg. Small is 2 kg to 25 kg. So you see how the difference in the image also is there. Okay. The drone is from small, it is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay. Whereas medium is from 25 kg to 150 kg. Okay. Whereas large. So large drones will be not more or less like your quadcopter. They will be like aeroplanes, because small the drones which are larger than 150 kg will not be like a rotorcraft or something. Maybe there could be some, but they will have a multi-functionality. It could be a hybrid form kind of thing. Okay, it will not be a aeroplane, or it not be a rotorcraft, but could be hybrid, or maybe purely aeroplane. Okay, you would have seen the drones which was used in current war, like Harut drone, or the Predator drones which Indian government use or US government use, or even Israelis who they use. These are all in form of like a hybrid or in form of aeroplane. They are not like a rotorcraft, because rotorcraft has its own limitation of flight, limitation of height. All those things are there. So we'll see in subsequently where what drone is applicable for what purpose. Okay. So with respect to the classification, that is with respect to the weight, nano which is less than 250, micro which is 250 grams to 2 kg, small is 2 kg to 25 kg, medium is 25 kg to 150 kilograms, and large is more than 150 kg. Okay. So clear on the classification with respect to the weights? Any questions, any doubt you have? Please ask. Any questions you have?
No, sir.
No, right?
No, no, sir.
Darsh, you have question?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, okay. So let's move ahead. So we saw the classification categorization with respect to India. Now let's see the classification with respect to outside India. Okay, let's take an example of FAA, Federal Aviation Academy. Okay, which is the premier, like how we have DGCA in India. That's the Federal Aviation Academy is the premier of US. Okay, or same classification is being used by Canada or South America or Australia. You know these countries because they are belonging, say, or even UK. They more or less follow the similar classification with respect to range and altitude. So you see there is something called hummingbird VTOL, or you have predator. You must have heard this predator drone very long because this is widely used military drone by US government, and we also have acquired, I think we have acquired around 7 to 11 predator drones. Okay, some are being given to army, some are being given to navy. Okay, so they are operating this predator drone across the border areas. Okay, then we have Skystar hybrid VTOL, then we have a Global Hawk. Okay, and then MD4. Okay, these are some drones which are being classified, or UAVs which are classified with respect to range and altitude by FAA. Okay, or similar organizations, like it could be Canada, European countries, Australia, Brazil, Argentina. You know, wherever these people are using this type of thing, they are following the same classification with respect to range and altitude. Let's see how these are being defined now. Okay, now if you see the classification with respect to the range and altitude by FAA, so there is something called as micro and mini UAV. Okay, or what we call as MUAV. Okay, which has a range of at up to 10 kilometers. Okay, so within 10-kilometer range these drones can fly, but altitude is limited only up to 300 meters. Okay, but however the endurance is at least 2 hours. Okay, and weight it can take up is 30 kg. So like MD4. Okay, we saw in this. So this MD4 is only up to range with respect to the range is 10 kilometers. Altitude it can go up to 300 meters. Endurance it can take about 2 hours. Okay, and it can take up the weight of 30 kg. So that means drone plus the payload it can take weight up to 30 kg. So that is called MUAV. Okay, micro or mini UAV. Okay, second is medium altitude long endurance, MAL. Okay, or MALE, medium altitude long endurance. So medium altitude means what? 3000 meters. That means 3 kilometers in altitude it can go up. Whereas the range, okay, the long range, it is 500 kilometers. So this is a quite big range. Okay, 500 kilometers it can go. See the endurance capacity of this drone, 24 hours to 48 hours. So almost for 1 day to 2 days, it can continuously fly in the air. Okay, keep on flying in the air. Okay, it will just circle above your head. I mean, not head, I mean above your airspace. Okay, at what? 3 kilometers in height. So it's a very height. Okay, example, again the MTOW, 1500 to 7000 kg. Okay, so it's a huge capacity that payload it can take. Okay, example, Talarian drones or Predator drones. Okay, we saw here this picture. Okay, this Predator drone. This is the same drone which was used by US Army when they were doing the activity in Afghanistan. Even the Taliban, or what is that terrorist name? The terrorist chief who was killed in Abbottabad. Okay, what is his name? Bin Laden, right? So during his mission also the Predator drones were used. Okay, so this drone continuously fly in the air for almost 24 days, 24 hours to 48 hours. That is 1 day, 2 days maximum it can fly. Even more than that also. Okay, sometimes it can go up to 2.5 times also, depending upon, because these are fuel powered. Okay, they are not battery powered. That's why they have a longer range as well as longer altitude, as well as endurance capacity is very high. Whereas there are other drones which are called HAL, okay, which is high altitude long endurance. MAL is medium altitude, so its altitude is only up to 3 kilometers. Whereas HAL is 20,000 meters. That means it can go up to 20 kilometers up in the height. Okay, again the endurance of this drone is also for 24 hours to 48 hours, whereas maximum takeoff weight is 4,500 to 15,000 kilograms. Okay, so they are very big drones. Okay, very huge cargo type of drones. Okay, they are drones which are flown for weather surveillance also. So this global hawk, okay, this is a hell. Okay, this is again similar to airplane, but there is no pilot inside. That's why they are UAV. They are flown remotely. Okay, and if you see their aerodynamics design, it's like an aeroplane only. So maximum high range, high altitude are always aeroplane type drones. Okay, because as you climb up in the air, your air become thinner. It's very difficult to fly a rotorcraft drone. So we will see that in a topic called principles of flight. Okay, which is a next topic. We'll understand why, because there are certain principles like Bernoulli principle is there, Newton's laws are there, which we need to understand which drone can fly where. Okay, so if you see this altitude and range, okay, especially the altitude, you see these are, see this micro mini is like a quadcopter. Okay, whereas medium, high altitude, these drones are probably like your aeroplanes. Okay, they are neither hybrid category or neither they are rotorcraft. They are aeroplane category drones. Okay, so Talarian, Predator, Global Hawk, these are all aeroplane category if we see with our categorization. Okay, whereas there is something called VTOL UAV. Okay, VTOL UAV, that is a category defined by the FAA, which is having a range of flying from 5 kilometers to 200 kilometers. It can go up to altitude. See, now this is VTOL. That means what? It can vertically take off and land. That means it is like a rotorcraft, but its range is more than micro or mini MUAV. Okay, so it is more than 10 kilometers. So it can go up to 5 to 200 kilometers, whereas altitude here it was limited only up to 300 meters, where it is about 6,000 meters. That means it can go up to 6 kilometers, whereas endurance capacity of this VTOL UA is from 20 minutes to 8 hours. Okay, that much it can fly. And then the maximum weight, so basically depending upon the size, okay, it can be 20 gram or it can be maximum 1400 kilograms of drones. Okay, so it can be MQ-9 nano or hummingbirds. Okay, these are what, so hummingbirds are very small drones which are used for spying activities and all this. That's why you can see they can be around 20, 40, 50 or max 100 grams also. Okay, so if you see with respect to the MTUW, they are not classifying the drones. Okay, they are classifying with respect to the range, altitude, endurance, and also all these 4 parameters classify the drone as category. Okay, so micro mini is if your drone falls in this range, altitude, endurance, and MTUW, then you may call it as micro or mini. If you are with respect to this range, altitude, endurance, and MTW fall, then you may call it as MAL. Okay, if you fall under this 4 parameters, then it will be, there could be a combination of both also. They're not necessary it will be always mal and hal. Okay, it can be plus minus here and variation would be there, but accordingly you have to classify them based on whatever the parameters you see. You see, if there are 3 parameters which are following, then you have to maybe call it as mal. If there are all 3 or 4 are parameters, the maximum whatever parameters it falls, that is what the category the drone will be there with respect to FAA. Okay, for India you have to follow the drone rules 2021 classification and categorization only. This is only to give you an idea how outside India the classification with respect to the range, altitude, and the next one is size. Okay, so again US classification with respect to the size for FAA is very small, small, medium, or large. So they have only 4 classification, like we have 5, they have only 4, but their classification is with respect to size. Our classification is with respect to weight. So remember this, US is classification with respect to size, our classification is with respect to weight. So here they are classifying the drone with respect to the size, which is less than 50 centimeter, is called very small, tiny surveillance or spying drones are there. Okay, then we have something called mini, which is 50 centimeters to 2 meters. So if you see this small, these are still not a production grade kind of drones. They are still in testing or development kind of, but they are classified as very small. Even mini, there are some drones which are available. Again, they are used for spying and all those activity, but they are very expensive. Like you can search on net by name Hornet. Okay, Hornet drone is being used by US Army for spying. You know, they whenever they are conducting a mission, they will fly the Hornet drones, which is very it is like almost so tiny that it's very difficult to see. Okay, and they will capture and give you the perspective of the battlefield or the ground where the mission is going to get carried out. Okay, earlier they used to fly helicopter and they used to, you know, ground control. They used to give a situation about the area over from the air to the ground field. Okay, whereas now this has been taken air by the drones. Okay, so these Hornet drones are extensively used by the military of US or, you know, other countries also, where they get the complete idea about the battlefield or the scenario or the where they are going to carry out their mission. Whereas medium category is there, 5 meters to 10 meters. So these are very big. Their payload capacity would be around 200 kgs also. And large, which may be bigger than 10 meters. So for example, you can see Global Hawk, Predators. You know, even Predator falls under medium because they may be 5 meter to 10 meter. Okay, even your Watchkeeper, Sky Eye, okay, Hunter, Pioneer. These are all medium class drones. Okay, whereas small is like Raven, Bike Star, or very small. Like these are all very small testing, or people are developing or maybe using for small surveillance spying activities only. Okay, so that's how US classified or FAA classifies with respect to the size: small, sorry, very small, small, medium, or large. Okay, so that's how we categorize and classify, and that's how the other countries classify drones with respect to the range, altitude, and size. Whereas we classify with the type and the weight. Okay, so type is basically rotorcraft, aeroplane, and hybrid. That is how we categorize our drone. With respect to the weight, we classify them as nano, micro, small, medium, and large. So clear on the classification now. I hope now you are clear on every aspect of categorization and classification of drone with respect to Drone Rules 2021. Any questions you have further? Yes, Darsh.
So the surveillance ones are allowed for normal purchasing for general public, or it's only for military purposes?
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
The surveillance ones, which are very small ones, they are only allowed for general public or for just for military purposes.
So which surveillance drones you are talking about? Are you talking India perspective?
The Hornet, which you said.
So Hornet is very, I mean, it goes in crores. I think it is very difficult for any normal people to buy a Hornet drone and all that. And as of now, it is only used by military. So it is developed basically for US military only. Okay. And they are selling it to only military organizations, like government defense organizations only. Okay. Whereas there are different surveillance drones are available. There are Indian OEMs also who had developed surveillance drone, but they are again developed specifically for two reasons. One is for the defense, so those will be only for a defense purpose, and there are separate category which is defined in a surveillance for commercial or civilian people. Like if I want to start a surveillance company and I want to use a type certified surveillance drone, I can buy from these organizations. So there is an organization like company called Idea Forge, or there is a Asteria, or there is a company called by Surveillance. Okay, so these are some companies which had a very good surveillance drones with respect to India perspective. Okay, so you can buy a surveillance drone from them also directly. Okay, so from defense perspective, there is a separate guidelines, because again you will see in Drone Rules 2021, the Drone Rules 2021 is not applicable to Army, Navy, and Air Force. So they don't fall under the guidelines of Drone Rules 2021. They have their own separate guidelines to follow, and no rule is applicable to Air Force, Navy, or Army, whichever they use. Either they have their own drones or they are leased out drones also. They will not follow Drone Rules 2021. That is defined in Drone Rules 2021 also in rule number 2. Okay, rule number 2, it has been clearly defined that Drone Rules 2021 will be not applicable to Indian armed forces, Navy, and Air Forces. Okay, so clear. So let's see with respect to the Drone Rules 2021, how do we certify the drone? Okay, as I said, if you want to build a drone, manufacture the drone, and sell. If you are having that kind of a plan, you need to get your drone type certified. That means if you want to manufacture a car and sell that car, you need to follow certain guidelines for manufacturing and certifying that car. That car needs to have certain rules and regulations, certification, worthiness of driving it safely. Similarly, your drone needs to be airworthiness. Okay, that means it should follow certain safety, security, what we say, material guidelines. Say your certain ISI or quality features needs to be implemented, safety features needs to be implemented. All that you need to follow. Then only you will get a type certification for your drone. Then only you will be allowed to manufacture those drones and sell those drones. There are people who are making small drones, like nano drone doesn't require to be a type certified, because those are small toy drones. Okay, you are just flying it in a small range and small. They are very harmless, I would say, not really affected. But if you talk about 2 kg of drone flying and it hits somebody, that person can have a fatal injury, or he can die also because of that, or maybe it can damage a property also. So they will become very lethal. Okay, so operating such kind of a drones. So any drone which is above 250 gram, you require it to be a type certified drones. Below 250 grams, you don't require it to be type certified. So how do you get type certified? So no person shall operate an unmanned aircraft system in India unless such unmanned aircraft system conforms to a type certification or is exempted from the requirement of type certification under these rules. Like as I said, nano drone doesn't require to be a type certified drone. Okay, so apart from nano, all other classification like micro, your small, medium, and large, all 4 classes needs to be a type certified drones if you want to fly. Okay, so how do I get the type certification? I need to fill a form called T1. Okay, so as I said earlier, the car was having 25 forms, whereas the new drone rules 2021 has only 5 forms. So the first form from that 5 forms is form D1, which is application for type certification. You see the heading of your form is application of type certification. Now after you fill this form and submit, the Director General or entity authorized by Director General in this behalf may, on the recommendation of Quality Council of India or an authorized testing entity, issue a type certificate for any particular type of unmanned aircraft system. So once you fill this form, the DGCA will, or the quality under the guidelines of Quality Council of India, will assign you the authorized testing entity. Okay, there will be a testing body which will get liaised with you. They will have their own charges for this activity. Okay, so for D1, filling this D1 form, charges is just 100 rupees. But 100 rupees is just an application charge. Okay, you are just filling it online. Okay, you are just making an application. After you make the application, the Quality Council will assign you authorized testing entity. Currently, there were 4 to 6 authorized testing entities available, which you can nominate either one of them out of those 6 authorized testing entity. That testing and authorized testing entity will be assigned to you, and then authorized testing entity will liaise with you. Okay, they will get connected with you. They will, they will work with you together to get this drone type certified. So they will work on the documentation part. They will work with your reports, your documentation, your manuals, then your testing of your prototype. That means your drones will be tested for airworthiness, whether it is able to fly, whatever you have defined, whatever the criteria, whatever the things you are defined as your drone. Like car. Okay, car is tested for the crash. Okay, so then only it gets the certification. So similarly, your drone is been tested. Okay, whether it has been how it is safely it can land, how safely it can fly, how safely it can maneuver, all those aspects. Then what kind of temperature it can fly, extreme temperature, low temperatures, battery qualities, a lot of aspects. Even your flight controllers, your propellers, motors, everything component will be tested. Okay, you need to provide the reports, you need to provide support. So there has to be a lot of lab reports you need to take out for this particular drone. So it is almost 35 to 40 lakh rupees is required for getting your drone to be type certified. Okay, so getting a type certification is not easy. Again, as per the drone rules 2021, you required only 60 days for authorized testing entity to test your this, but it takes almost more than 3 months, 6 months to year to get your drone to be type certified. So roughly the cost and the timelines is 35 to 40 lakhs and timelines is 1 year. You should consider approximately 1 year or even more. There are people who had spent almost 1.5 years also to get their drone type certified. Okay, so it's not that easy to get your drone type certified. So I am already offering some consultancy to some of our organization who are interested in making their own drones. So one company in Rajasthan who is trying to make a hybrid drone. There is another company which is trying to build a surveillance drone in Mumbai. For them, I am giving a guidelines, okay, a consultancy where I am helping them to make the drone and work on the documentation part so that they are able to get that drone type certified from the Quality Council of India and further by DGCA. Okay. So what is the application procedure? So as I said, you have to fill a D1 form on a Digital Sky platform along with the fees specified in rule number 46. So in that form, you have to mention particulars of applicant, details and required document with respect to the prototype as specified therein, and the prototype itself. So earlier they were asking only one single prototype, but now the testing entities are asking for 3 prototypes. You have to make 3 drones, similar drones, and give it to them for testing. That is how your testing will happen faster also. Okay, so almost for a period of 2 months, that is 60 days, they will test your drone. They will do all the things with respect to your documentation, and after 60 days they will give their report whether your drone will be type certified or not type certified. If there is any deviation or anything, they will come back to you and tell you to rectify it or provide some more details about it. So if they are satisfied with all the answers and all the documentation what you have done, then they will give you the green signal, that is the type certificate. You are good to go for type certification. They will give that recommendation to Quality Council of India. Quality Council will also review the documentations and reporting and then further submit the final report to DGCA. DGCA will take 15 days to look into the reporting and the documentation part, and then finally they will certify your drone as type certified drone. Okay, so this is how. So normally as per the drone rules 2021, it is only 75 days, 60 days plus 15, that is 75 days to get type certificate. But there is a lot of back end processes there, back and forth happens where you need to get your type certification done. Just a minute, I am getting a call from resort, just hold on. Okay, sorry. So there are these type of requirements. So 60 to 75 days is what is the officially time required, but unofficially it will take 3 months, 6 months to year, because lot of back and forth happens. Like for example, you might have specified that your drone is capable of landing 500 times. So you have to demonstrate to the testing body that yes, your drone is able to successfully land 500 times, or you should have some kind of a report. You should have some kind of evidence to justify your claim. Okay, if you are not able to justify, they will ask you to do it 500 times in front of you. Have to take off, land, take off, land, take off, land. Like this activity itself might take 1-2 days or maybe a week's time. Okay, you cannot take 500 times is a big number. In a day you can max land, maximum on higher side you may take off land 100 times. Okay, because you need that much power, battery, changing the battery, time, all that required. So even testing for 500 times, it may even take 10 days of time. So see, that time of testing will not be counted in this, because you are not able to provide or justify your 500 claim. In case if your drone crashes or cannot sustain that 500 times takeoff and landing, 400 times के बाद ही आपका suppose landing gear break हो गया, टूट गया, something, you have to start again the process. You have to show them that 500 times. If you are not able to, like 400 times के बाद हुआ, 450 के बाद हुआ, that means your landing gear is not capable of doing 500 times takeoff and landing. So then you may have to change your documentation. Instead of 500 times, you may have to say it 400 times. Okay, so that is how you have to go back and forth. So you have to work closely with the testing entities and make sure your document is certified for whatever your claims you are making. Okay, for example, if you are claiming your drone is waterproof, so they will dip your drone in water. I'm just giving an example. Okay, now as of now there is no drone which is waterproof. Okay, there is no drone which is waterproof, but there are certain components people are saying that they are waterproof, but that doesn't mean your entire drone is waterproof. For example, we say the mobile is waterproof. Is your really mobile waterproof? No, but certain extent it is waterproof. Like in a rain, it can sustain, because if you see the iPhone doesn't have any much of the inputs to go inside the water. Only the speaker area and the battery connectors is which is actually can water go inside, but it is downward. Okay, this thing. So if you are putting your phone in your pocket, the water will not directly enter. But there are some devices like Android mobiles earlier where they were having the top what we say this audio pin which was going from a top. So that was the area from where the water can easily go inside. Even one droplet of water goes from that, it can damage your phone. So that means damage your phone. So it is not a waterproof drone then. Okay, or waterproof mobile. Similarly, the motors are open in our drone, so that doesn't make a waterproof drone. Okay, so I cannot fly. Like DJI is claiming, DJI small drones, they are made such a way that it doesn't have a direct water, but they are still not 100% waterproof drones. They can sustain certain amount of water. You can fly certain drones in rainy, but depending upon the rain and type of rain. Okay, but again after the flying, you have to remove the moisture and everything from it, or it can damage. See, your motherboard or the circuits, they are being made in such a way that they are resistant to water and everything. But to certain extent they are being resistant, not 100% they are resistant. So you cannot make 100% as of now waterproof, or there is no 100% waterproof drones available. Okay, so that is what we are saying. So whatever you are claiming in your type certification, you should justify, you should show. Like if you are saying that my drone can fly in 50 degree of temperature, so they will try to create that scenario. They have that lab rooms such a way that that temperature, or you may say that my drone can sustain around -5 degree of temperature. Like for Ladakh or high altitude regions or locations, or high altitude flying and all the thing where the temperature is lower. So your drone should be able to fly. नहीं तो उधर आपका components fail हो गए तो your drone will crash. Okay, so whatever claim you are doing with respect to your drone, you should able to justify, you should able to provide lab reports, then only your drone will get type certified. Okay, so these are challenges what you come across when you go for type certification. So it's not that easy. Even the documentation is about 220 pages. Okay, so roughly in English it is 110 pages, or you can say 100 pages of document is there for getting your drone type. So there is a guidelines given by Quality Council of India where how the document to be made, how the drones to be made, how the manuals, how all sort of, then what reference document to follow and read and understand. You can also do those tests prior to giving it for testing it to the testing body. So you should able to do all those things. So you need to set up a team. You need 2 mechanical engineers, 2 electronic engineers, you need 2 designers, you need test pilots. All those things are there. So if you are talking about 1 year's time, so you have to pay salary to them. You have to make, you have to build that team and all that things. You have to build 3 to 5 drones. Okay, and you have to do all this testing. So this is all cost or expense. And then, the entity body, that the testing entities charges you around 4 lakhs to 5 lakhs. So their charges is within like 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs, depending upon kind of service or consultancy you are taking. If you are hiring a consultant like me, who will be also charging some amount of for my expertise to provide you to make sure that your drone gets type certified. So that charges will be there. So all that charges will bring the cost of your type certification somewhere around 30 lakhs to even 50 lakhs, depending upon what type of drone. Like for example, if you are building a hybrid drone, that cost will go more. because that's again a little bit complex type of drone is there. Okay, so actually we are building a hybrid drone, is a completely different type. Okay, it can vertically take off and vertically land and fly itself in like an aeroplane. It's a different type of not like normal VTOL drone we are making. We are making it in a different way. Okay, so depending upon what design you want to make, what purpose you want to make, according to the cost will increase of your type certificate. Okay, again the timelines, the documentation required, amount of team required, all that will vary. Okay, so it is not a job of one person or two-person to get your drone type certified. So these are only done by OEMs or the people who are startups who want to set up their organization as a drone company only. Then only you need to get funding, or you need to get some venture capitalist to do kind of this activity. On your own you cannot get your drone type certificate. Okay, so acceptance and approval, for there are some foreign regulators also who are coming, and like Israeli company has approached, or there are some foreign companies are also trying to approach and build their drone, or they are build some kind of association with local vendors also, and they are building a common drone for India and flying within India. So, okay, so these are been again managed under the same rules and regulations, and Director General Civil Aviation will certify this drone as type certified drones only. Import of any kind of a drone is being regulated by Director General of Foreign Trade. Okay, DGFT. Okay, so import of drone like DJI drones are completely banned. So Director General of Foreign Trade will not give you approval to bring any DJI drones in India. Whatever drones we are getting of DJI are, they are all illegal buyer. They are being smuggled inside the country. But as of now, DGCA is not so serious about it, because they want people to fly. Even DJI drones can be registered on the government portal. We'll see in the subsequent slide how to register them, but those are available. But there are other OEMs where you can purchase. Even DJI drones, you are bringing it, you can only bring it for if you are a company which is or an organization like educational institute. There are some relaxation is being given by the Director General for Foreign Trade, but you cannot use those drones for commercial purpose. Like DJI drones, currently government is relaxed only because they are supposed to be used only for recreational purposes or your own purposes, not for commercial purpose. Like we are using DJI drone for aerial photography, cinematography, all that things. That is not actually a legal activity. Okay, that in case you got caught or you got thing, you will be in trouble. Okay, so they are not being allowed. Now, who is exempted from obtaining the type certified in a certain cases? So, a modelly remotely piloted aircraft system. That means model RPAS. I'm talking about the drones or unmanned aircraft, the aeroplanes especially. Okay, even the drones which are only used as a model. Okay, those are being exempted from getting type certified, like your aero models. Okay, the drone, the aeroplanes which you are using for fun activity, right? Aero modeling people who flies the aeroplane in visual line of sight. Okay, those are exempted from obtaining type certification. So again, it has a limit of 25 kg, less than 25 kg, and it has to be flown only under VLOS condition. So only those type of UAS are being exempted. So a model remotely piloted aircraft system and nano unmanned aircraft system, that means nano drones, are being exempted from type certifications. So that's why your type drones doesn't require to be a type certified. You can just, even you can make a small nano drones and sell them. Okay, so you can design, you can, lot of people are making small drones for learning or teaching purposes, like they are made from balsa wood or maybe small low grade plastic or low grade material they are using, and building a drone which is less than 250 grams. That is how you are able to make the weight less than 250 gram. Very light plastic kind of drones you can make and fly. So those nano drones are exempted to become to be getting type certified drones. Okay, so clear on the type certification process and the requirement for it and the exemptions required or available in case of type of drones. Yeah, Darsh.
The type which you said about the DJI ones, basically when you get them, even if you are registering it on the DGCA website, then
Mhm.
still it's a problem. It's still illegal after registering that.
Yeah, if you're flying it for commercial, you still have a problem. You can fly it for your recreational activity. See, registration is one thing. Registration is for different requirement. Okay, and getting it type certification is a different requirement. Okay, type certification is a legal drone manufactured and developed in India and certified in India by DGC. Okay, so that is so type certified drones are the legal drones. Okay, which can be used for commercial purposes, whereas all other drones are not commercial, cannot be used for commercial purposes. So, like
Okay.
for example, DJI drones may be falling under nano class. Nano class है तो कोई problem नहीं. Then you can fly. You cannot use anywhere. You cannot use them for commercial purposes. But the drones which are little bit higher than 250 grams or maybe 2 kg and all that requirement, you can register them. You can use it for your own purpose, but you cannot use it for commercial activity.
Yeah,
That
normally
is
what happens.
cases, but people are still using it. Okay, so अभी जब तक पकड़ा नहीं जाता तब तक कुछ नहीं, पकड़ा गया तो प्रॉब्लम.
Normally the issue is that when we are traveling, the airlines also have a specific rule that you can only carry a drone up to below 250 grams, not above that.
Correct.
So
That is the reason.
that is
Same
what.
reason. Yes.
Yeah,
That
but
is
they ask for a proof that you have a license, you have a proof of this drone
purchase.
that you're carrying. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So normally they will ask you to showcase the purchase of your document, the size of your document, specifications of your drone, and then your license also. That is, you are authorized. Okay, you are not just carrying for sake of like you are a pilot. So pilots are allowed to carry certain drones. Again, your drone you have to carry in luggage. Batteries has to carry it in hand luggage, handbag or
Right.
something like that. So that you have to do when you are flying domestic and all that things. Okay, so you have to follow certain guidelines. So again, this is subjective. Okay, even airlines doesn't have much knowledge. I mean, those people who are sitting in security desk at the airlines, they still are not, uh, they are not been trained to understand what drone, what is not allowed, not allowed. They just randomly. I mean, बैंगलोर एयरपोर्ट पे जाओगे तो उधर का बंदा कुछ बोलेगा, दिल्ली का एयरपोर्ट वाला कुछ और बोलेगा, मुंबई का एयरपोर्ट वाला कुछ और बोलेगा. ओके, सो it varies again people to people and location to location, but then as if you are a certified pilot, you should be aware of the rules and regulations. You can showcase, you see, then when you first you show that you are a pilot, they will not question you, but then they will talk about certain which is, then you have to talk about, sensibly what is allowed and what is not allowed. Okay, तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल जैसे अभी हम लोग कार चलाते हैं, राइट, हमारे कार पे हम लोग कभी कभी एडिशनल लाइट्स लगाते हैं फॉर नाइट और फॉगी एरियाज में फ्लाई ड्राइव करने के लिए. Okay, but even though you have those lights, you are not that operating those lights. Lot of time on highways, the traffic police will stop you. Okay, they will stop you and they say ये आपने highlights लगा, ये illegal है, this and that. They will talk you and they will try to corner you and they will say नहीं नहीं अभी ये illegal है, आपको fine भरना पड़ेगा, something like that. But then you have to tell them very clearly these are right now they are not operational. First of all, okay, they have just been put. So putting is not a question. Okay, I have been putting it for my own safety and security of not only my but other people also. So I am doing this for safety and security, and this will be only operational during certain condition which you cannot deny. अगर आप फॉगी एनवायरनमेंट में कार चला रहे हो और अगर आपके पास हाई बीम लाइट नहीं है तो यू कैन नॉट ड्राइव, राइट, इट इज अ हजार्डस. ओके, वो उसके लिए है. सो देयर ट्रैफिक पुलिस कैन नॉट से नो फॉर दैट. ओके, सो वो नॉर्मली क्या करेगा, जब आपने डाला है इसके लिए आपको चार्ज करने की कोशिश करेगा अननेसेसरी. वो मतलब ट्राइंग, पीपल आर नॉट अवेयर ऑफ द रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन, दे विल ट्राई टू प्ले विथ यू एज अ लॉ एनफोर्समेंट. बट देन इफ यू आर अवेयर ऑफ द रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन, लाइक कोई कोई कार पे फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपका पर्सनल कार है और पर्सनल कार में आप सामान लेके जा रहे हो, सम लगेज लेके जा रहे हो, तो दैट टाइम ऑल्सो दे विल से आपको लगेज लेके जाना अलाउड नहीं. बट दैट्स माई पर्सनल कार, व्हाट आई गो एंड टेक इन माई कार इज दैट्स माई पर्सनल रिक्वायरमेंट. मैं कमर्शियली तो यूज नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं मेरे पर्सनल यूज के लिए कर रहा हूँ. आई एम यूजिंग इट फॉर माई रिक्वायरमेंट. आई एम गोइंग फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर प्लेस, और मैं फार्म हाउस पे जा रहा हूँ, या आई एम ट्रेवलिंग फ्रॉम वन सिटी टू अनदर. सर्टन लगेज विल बी ऑलवेज देयर इन माई कार. Only requirement is there that whatever luggage you are carrying, it should be properly bound, it should be properly tied. Even आप ऊपर कैरेज पे भी अगर सूटकेस रखते हो, you cannot just keep it. which is dangerous because that could cause a damage to other person. But if you have tied it properly with the rope and all that safety precautions you have taken, then traffic police cannot stop you or cannot fine you. The same is applicable in the drone also. See, lot of time हम लोग जब fly करते हैं ना, कुछ चीजें हैं जैसे for example measuring tape is not allowed in handbag, rope is not allowed in handbag, yeah, even shoe like knives, all these some things are not allowed in like chopper आप लेके जा सकते हो. You would have buy some equipment or something in this, but that you can put it in your cabin, in your luggage, right? You can declare it also before putting it. So you can declare and you can take it, or they will ask you to pack it separately and put it in separate, so you are not aware how it is coming from one airport entry to other airport exit. Then only you will get it, whereas you will not aware where. Okay, so in hand luggage आप नहीं लेके जा सकते ये सब से चीजें. Even like measuring, even coconut, normal coconut भी allowed नहीं है hand luggage में, if you know that. Or even liquid items, like shampoos or sprays or even आपका DO ये सब allowed नहीं है, because it may look like a DO, but that could be spray, could be something else also. It could be dangerous. So to avoid that kind of thing, they are not allowing. So that you have to follow. So that is a document with respect to 2003, which is called carriage of dangerous goods. What is allowed on aircraft, what is not allowed on aircraft. Okay. So that is as per the rules. So you have to follow. If you are aware of the rules and regulations, then only you can talk to them or tell them. Then only they will not say okay, theek hai. They will allow you not. Okay. So depends upon things. Like I'll give an example. There was one student in last batch who has taken a drone of DJI. What was the number? 30T. Okay, which is a surveillance drone. Okay, and has a thermal camera also. And he has gone to South Africa. From here he went to South Africa. There was no issue. But while coming back, he came from Dubai. On Dubai airport, he was stopped and he was not allowed to carry that drone. Okay, they confiscated that drone. So they said we cannot allow you to take that drone. Then he has to send that drone to some other location. So he has to send that drone with some other person to US. Okay, and from US he got it separately or whatever it is. They didn't allow from Dubai to Mumbai on that flight, that particular drone. Okay, though because it was having a thermal sensor. I since this came to know only later, recent stage, but I asked him what was the reason why they were not allowing thermal. What that harm is going to cause to the flying operations of the aircraft or whatever it is. Why they were not allowing. You should have asked them, but he didn't ask or he didn't query about it. Even I am also not aware as of now why they stopped the thermal drone from taking from Dubai to Mumbai and all that thing. So case to case basis. आप दुबई से यूएस भेज सकते हो, बट दुबई से मुंबई क्यों नहीं भेज रहे? No idea about it. The same drone has flown from Dubai to US. फिर वो US से I think they took it to UK and then from UK they brought that drone over. So end of the day you got drone here, right? But it cost because they have to send it through some other person and some other way of means to get that drone back. But they were not directly allowing on that aircraft. Okay, there could be some security protocol at that point in time, or maybe they might be having some kind of a guidelines or certain instructions not to allow this type of drones, probably. Okay, but then we should have asked them if they are not allowing. Like for example, I will tell you one case. During practical session, I was not allowed to carry certain batteries also in hand baggage, though you are allowing to carry battery in hand luggage. Okay, but certain batteries were not allowed. Like lithium batteries, I was carrying small lithium battery cells. I was not allowed and I was stopped. And they said that you cannot carry. But you are allowing to carry the lithium batteries in hand baggage and you are saying no now. So they wanted to see the device for which this lithium batteries was used. So I told that device for what this lithium batteries was used is in my luggage. Now that luggage has already gone inside. Now if you want to see that, you have to bring that luggage, or I will miss my flight and also. I went to higher officials after I convincing. You said you show me the document. This type of lithium battery is not allowed. Then I will leave that, because that each battery was costing me 1,000 rupees, and like that I had 3 batteries, and which was required for me. And most important is that from Mumbai to Bangalore when I went, nobody stopped me. But while coming back from the event, from Bangalore when I was returning back, they were doing. And I always face a problem at Bangalore for all nonsense and silly reasons, because they are not been trained or they are not aware of the rules and regulations. So then you should always ask that I want to talk to your higher officials, or show me the document. You can search the document on the net also. I searched on the net in there itself on the mobile, and I showed them the type of the battery, what was I was carrying, and what is that allowed. It was defined in the document also. That's how they stopped. They kept quiet, and then they finally they said they allowed me. So I will say next time when I am bringing that, when I will declare it in Mumbai airport, I will take writing from Mumbai airport that this had been taken and then this is brought back. Then you will should not have a problem. But same batteries, when I'm going from Mumbai to Delhi, or I went to Mumbai to Nagpur also, I never had a problem in 2 and 4, but only at the Bangalore airport. I mean, multiple times on different occasions or different requirements, we had a problem at Bangalore airport. Multiple times. I mean, at least twice, thrice, I have faced a problem. And because these people who are there employed at Bangalore airport, they may not be having that knowledge about what devices are allowed or what devices are not allowed. Okay. So case to case basis पे problems आते हैं आपको, you have to handle it politely. Okay. You should talk about from a perspective of rules, regulations and guidance. Okay. If the person, see the low level बंदा जो रहेगा ना, वो सिर्फ ना उसका दिमाग नहीं चलता, उसका हाथ और पैर, वो शरीर से हेल्दी रहता है, वो मिलिट्री का बंदा रहेगा, राइट, या आर्मेड फोर्सेस का बंदा रहेगा. ही डजंट अंडरस्टैंड दिस, तो उसको सिर्फ सर्टन गाइडलाइंस बोला रहेगा, वो फॉलो करे. देन यू ऑलवेज सेलिंग दिस, लेट मी टॉक टू योर manager or higher officials. Okay, or you do one thing, you send this device separately, I will pay the charges for that, or you maybe pack it separately, put it in the luggage and send it, something like that. You do it, you should counter them politely, I would say. Okay, they will then understand and they will allow you maybe that point in time, and next time you take accordingly the precautions. Okay, so that you have to take care. So what are the mandatory features? When you are going for a type certification, there are certain mandatory features needs to be employed on the drone. So there are 3 guidelines which have been defined in the drone rules 2021, which is no permission, no takeoff for hardware and firmware. But as of now, this mandatory feature is not implemented. Okay. Similarly, your drone should have a real-time tracking beacon that communicates the unmanned aircraft systems location, altitude, speed, and its UIN number, unique identification number. It's nothing but like your number plate what you have on your car or bike. Similarly, drone also has a number. Okay, it is a registered number. As you register your drone, you get a UIN number. Okay, so that number needs to be broadcasted by the device or the drone. So that real-time beacon has to be there. This feature is also not been implemented as of now. So out of 3, 2 features or safety features are not being implemented. The third most important feature is geofencing capability. This is the only feature which is being implemented in the current type certified drones. So all the type certified drones, I think there are 100 plus type certified drones as of now, they all has the geofencing capability implemented. Geofencing means you are setting up a virtual horizontal boundary so that your drone doesn't go outside that. But when you define a geofencing capability for your drone, or you define geofencing, your drone will not go outside that boundary. If it tries to go out, it will automatically trigger the RTL, that is return to launch. Automatically that drone will say that you have overruled the geofencing capability, and the drone will automatically land to the launch location. Okay, so only geofencing facility or capability is being available on the type certified drones. Okay, so no permission, no takeoff feature is not enabled. Even the real time beacon is not available, because currently the category what or the classification or the requirement what drone you are flying is flying under VLOS, that is visual line of sight. These features will become important when you are flying beyond visual line of sight, that is BVLOS. Okay, so currently you are only allowed to fly a drone under VLOS condition, not under BVLOS, because BVLOS का condition fly करने के लिए जो requirement है, regulations है, those regulations are not being released by DGCA. So currently your drone rules 2021 are only applicable for VLOS condition only. Okay, all the drones what your operations you are going to carry or fly are under visual line of sight only. Okay, for BVLOS condition, these other 2 mandatory features, or there might be more mandatory features would come in. Okay, So those will be made compulsory. Then only you will able to fly under VOL estimation. So out of three mandatory features, only geofencing is applicable as of now, or being applicable on the type certified drones. Okay. So now that was about type certification. Now let's see, whatever drones you are flying, okay, you need to make sure those drones are being registered on the digital sky platform. So right from registration, for sale and deregistration, okay, of drones, you need to have UIN number. So no person shall operate unmanned aircraft system without obtaining a unique identification number unless exempted. Okay, unless you are being exempted to have UIN number. Like for example, nano drones are being exempted for UIN numbers. You can fly a nano drone because nano drones are very small drones. Okay, very small, tiny drones. Like for example, I can show you a small drone. Okay, something like this. You can see here. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a very small drone. Okay, maybe the camera is not able to detect because of my face. Okay, so this is actually a nano drone. Okay, small drone. This is a toy drone. This is for training. Even we train people to build this drone and learn this to how to fly and make it. So this drone is for training purpose or just recreational. We just fly in home just to fun purposes, to learn purposes how to fly the drone. Okay, so that is what we. So these are tiny drones. I have one more tiny small nano drone like this. Couple of them I have at my home to be checked. So those are being exempted from UIN number. The registration record will be like when you register the drone, the record will be maintained by Director General of Civil Aviation or DGCA. Like how you registered your car, so your car registration is available with RTO, right? Same thing for drones also, DGCA will maintain that registration record. They will have a record and they will give you the UIN number, okay? It is a responsibility of a person operating an unmanned aircraft system to ensure that he ensures that US confirms to valid type. That means ideally they are saying the drone registration has to be for valid type certificate drone. So when you are registering the drone, normally your type certification drone will be categorized as TC, okay, type certification drone. Whereas the other drones, when you register, they are not given a category of TC. They will be given a different category, that EX or EN. Those there are different there. So we'll see that in detail when we go for digital sky platform review. Okay, when we have that topic of digital sky platform. Okay, so during that I'll explain you about this third line. What do you mean by US confirms to valid type of type certificate? So when you register the drones, accordingly they are being categorized, whether it's a type certified drones or whether they are non-type certified drones. Okay, but all the drones you registered, you can get a UIN. Even for nano drone also you can register, though they are exempted, but you can register. So now for example, this nano drone what I showed you, they can only fly up to 50 feet. उसके ऊपर नहीं fly होता है because it's not capable of flying it. So that is not required. But if you have a nano drone which can go above 50 feet, those drones you need to register, even though they are from nano class. Okay. So in that scenario, you have to register and you get a UIN number also for nano drones also. Clear? So any questions on registration of the drones? Which drones needs to be registered? Okay. So what is the eligibility for getting a UIN number? In simple terms, UIN identification number, what we say, or UIN is a license plate of an unmanned aircraft. Like how we have a license plate for our car or bike, similarly drone will also have. Like if you see in the picture, there is a name, a number has been put over here. Okay, so nano drone weighing less than 250 grams and can't fly above 50 feet, they are being called as a nano drones and they are being exempted. And also unmanned aircraft system owned by armed forces, that means Air Force, Navy and military, or any of these three armed forces are exempted from getting. So you will see the drones flown by armed forces, they will not have UIN. They don't require to be registered on the digital sky platform. Okay, they will be having their own registration feature, or they might be having their own portal to keep a track of their equipments and devices. Okay, so they are not required to follow this normal digital sky platform. UIN must be fixed on US in an identifiable and visible manner. So when we are doing practicals, you need to see what drone I am flying. So that drone number you need to know. because that drone number you have to put it in your logbook, what drone you have flown for your practicals. Okay, so I will be giving those UIN numbers to you when you are filling your practicals logbooks. Okay, so who can get UIN number? So UIN can be granted only to a citizen of India. If you are foreign officials or foreign people, they will not get the UIN number. Central and state government entities, okay, Indian companies, and it should have 2/3 of Indian directors, minimum 2/3. मतलब कभी कभी कोई company होता है which is a joint collaboration with some company with outside also, or there might be some company which is established its office in India. Okay, but then if it is a foreign company and it is having services and operations in India and going for a UIN registration, they should have at least 2/3 as a Indian directors. Then only they are allowed to get here their drones. Like you might be for starting some services around drone. Okay, in that scenario, you have to make sure that your company has 2/3 Indian directors. Even foreign entities, there could be some foreign entities leasing the unmanned aircraft for above. So in that they can also be getting, but again, if they are leasing it to certain body, that body should also have 2/3 Indian directors. Okay, then only even they are leasing it, even that drone has to be registered. So, I mean, if they are leasing it to some body, like they are leasing, suppose I take a drone from Israel, okay, and I am using that. So Bombay Flying Club has to register that drone for that period. It may be for a period of 1 year also, but I have to register that drone on my name. Okay, then only I can get it. Okay. Now, how to apply for registration? So there is a form called D2. Now you can see at the name of that form is application for registration of unique identification number. So this form is available on Digital Sky platform. D2 form has to be followed with P specified as rule number 46, and you have to pay it. So you issue an identification number to the applicant. UIN of his make. So these are basically UIN number is linked with the serial number of your drone, the serial number of your flight controller, serial number of your remote control. So there will be all these devices would be there. So all these serial numbers are linked to the common UIN number. Okay. So at any given point in time, you cannot change the, like RTO में आपने देखा रहेगा, I cannot change the engine of the car, right? Because the registration of my car with the chassis and the engine, they are all linked. Okay, so if I want to do it, I have to deregister the car and I have to put a new engine or new chassis, and then again I have to go for registration. Then like अगर मैं chassis भी change कर रहा हूँ तो भी मुझे re-registration करना पड़ता है for my car. Same is applicable for my drone also. So normally I am not supposed to change the flight control or the model or the RC also, the remote control or ground control station also. All सबके serial numbers are linked to UIN number. If in case you want to change, you have to deregister, make the change and re-register fresh for the new UIN number. Okay, but you can't the same UIN number. So similar process is followed. Okay. So that was about the registration of your drone. Now deregistration. Deregistration, like you may transfer, like my drone was I purchased the drone from one company. Okay, OEM से मैंने purchase किया था. IoTech Aviation is the company who manufactures the AgriBot drones. Okay, so they initially they were registered on the IoTech AgriBot IoTech Aviation name. So when I purchase, the drone has to be transferred on my name. So that transfer has to be done using form D3, and the fee has to be paid as per rule number 46. Okay, so that is a transfer. So in case how the transfer, so transferor, transferee, and the unique identification number will get transferred. So in this scenario, the number will not change, UIN number will not change, but the ownership will change. From IoTech Aviation, the name has changed to now Bombay Flying Club. Okay, or if it is individual, like if the drone was belonging to Darsh and I am purchasing that, so from Darsh name it will change to my name. So it will change from Darsh to Mangesh, or from Darsh if it is changed to, if he has given drone to Arkodeep, so then it in form of a lease, even in a form of a gift, or maybe some any kind of a transfer, you are doing it from one person to another person. End of the day, you have to make sure that the drone who has been flying that drone, it has to be on that name. Like for example, I am the employee of Bombay Flying Club, not necessarily that drone has to be, but then it is been on name of the OEM, I mean the name of the company. So right now all our drones are on the name of company. We are just employee and we are flying the drone for training purposes. Okay, so if you want to transfer it on a name purposes, you can do that also. Okay, but since it is a company to company transfer, we have transferred from IoTech Aviation to Bombay Flying Club. In case in future if drones is not being used or damaged, or you are retiring them from the services, in that scenario, or maybe damaged, or you may have lost that drone, in that scenario you should always deregister those drones, because you should not, your UIN number should not be misused, or somebody may use your UIN number on that drone and fly and do some damage. So you can always say my UIN number is already deregistered. Okay, it is no longer, or you can show your drone is there but it is no use and I'm already deregistered my drone which is lying in my warehouse or in my office, or I have scrapped the drone. Okay, if once you do deregister, that means you are safe. Same thing is applicable for your car, right? After 15 years you need to scrap your car officially, actually, ideally. Okay, that is what government says, but a lot of people don't do it. So it is possibly your number can be misused by somebody and you can get into trouble. So ideally you should always deregister your car and officially scrap your car. Okay, at least you should deregister your car first, getting it uh, scrap before scrapping it also. Okay, so same is applicable for deregistration. So again the same form, D3 form. So D3 form is for transfer and for deregistration. Okay, then okay, so that is where we talk about D1 and D2 and D3 forms. So these are the three important forms initially. Now we'll move to the